Well, when County Executive Ed Fitzgerald came into office, he was stressing regional collaboration and finding efficiencies. In June of 2011, the mayors of Pepper Pike, Orange, Woodmere, and Moreland Hills approached Executive Fitzgerald and asked if he could help them study the possibility of merging those four communities. With the economy being so bad and the state cutting the local government fund, all local governments have been looking to find efficiencies and save money. And so Cuyahoga County has 59 different communities. A lot of people just thought it makes sense for some of those to consolidate, and they wanted to explore that possibility. Well, the county was enthusiastic in its response and didn't have any money to fund a study, but did ask the County Planning Commission to take the lead on an initial review of those opportunities. Subsequently, the county won 2 awards. One was a state grant for $100,000, and another was from NOACA, the transportation body for the community, for $34,000. So we have $134,000 in grants, which we are using to hire an outside professional consultant to lead this study. The group is called the Center for Governmental Research. It's based in New York, and it had done a successful study of the merger of Princeton Borough and Princeton Township in New Jersey. That was the first merger that had occurred in 60 years in New Jersey. They've also had experience in Northeast Ohio working with their Fund for Economic Future, and also a study that was done in Lake County. They're a very professional group, PhDs, experts in this area, so we're happy that they're involved and excited about their expertise. This is an initial launch to the community members to tell them what the study is about, to welcome their participation, to begin to get their sense of what they think is special about their communities, what they think about the possibility of sharing services or potentially merging. We find that whenever you try to share services between communities or even merge communities, it's very, very difficult. There are a lot of hurdles to that type of effort. And so we're realistic as we enter this process. We're hopeful and confident that there will be positive results from it. Whether that'll actually be a merger, I think, is a more difficult thing to say. Whenever you're trying to put together 2 different systems, you may have different services offered by communities, you may have different pay scales, different union representation, different traditions, a sense of identity in the community, political opposition. The mayors are busy with other things. It's difficult to get them focused on something that is extra on their plate. So there are a lot of challenges, and most times efforts like this run out of steam. But we're hopeful that in this instance we'll find opportunities to share services at a minimum, and if there's an opportunity for merger, to put that option before the voters. I think that most people in these communities are excited about looking at the opportunities to save money. I think there's mixed reactions that you'll find about mergers. Some people are enthusiastic, other people are a little more hesitant. But again, our approach is going to be to tell them what the pros and cons of shared services and merger are, and let the local people decide. We're not trying to force anything on anybody. The purpose of the study is for the Center for Governmental Research to do a deep dive with the local officials to find out how things are run, what costs are incurred, and what opportunities for efficiencies exist. Once that's done, they'll present options to the community, and the communities will be able to choose whether they want to share services, merge, or do nothing different. The Princeton, New Jersey example that I gave you of a successful merger actually was tried 3 times, I believe, in the past before they eventually were successful in merging. So yes, these things take time, and some things I think are more readily achievable, such as shared services. Actual mergers of communities come very rarely, and that's one of the reasons why there weren't a lot of templates to follow with respect to mergers, because it's done so rarely. I think there are different paths to consolidation and shared services. There is the path of having 2 communities share services amongst themselves. There's a path of merger, but there's also the path of the county providing additional services, and that's what Executive Fitzgerald has talked about in the Western Reserve Plan. In other words, it's an easier path, I think, if a community can contract with the county to provide HR services or IT services or road maintenance, because it's very clean between the county and the city. When you're trying to share services between the 2 communities, you run into more obstacles because they have different systems. So we're kind of exploring more and more the expanded provision of county services as the most viable means to find efficiencies. One of the hurdles to the mergers is this sense that local communities want to keep their identities, and you really can do that when you're contracting with the county, because the county may provide back office services, but the communities maintain their identities. If these communities were to merge, and frankly they came out of a community founded in 1815, which was called Orange Township, which included these 4 suburbs plus Hunting Valley. And back in the 20s and then Woodmere in the 1940s, they broke apart. So this would be a bringing back together of those communities. But you're right, community identity is a major factor in decisions, and it's one of the hurdles that you have to face whenever you try to either share services or consolidate, because people like home rule, they like the sense of community, they have a history, and they like to maintain that.